Hey guys, I'm back. Did you miss me? So I just want to pop on here fairly quickly and just kind of discuss something. This is something that just kind of popped on me like this morning. So during my morning, well, before I started my morning prayer, I was watching a TD Jakes sermon. And sometimes I just pop on there. I don't go looking for certain sermons. When I open up YouTube, I go by what pops up, and I feel like that's a message for me. And this particular message absolutely was a message for me. So I go take my son to school. After I dropped him off, there's like a park like in between our house and the school. So I usually typically stop to this park in the mornings. I like to, get some prayer time in there because it's, for whatever, it's just really relaxing for me there. So the prayer time, I ended up taking it back home. If I stretched all the way home to the fact that I was in prayer for a very long time, just praying over everything, in my house, asking God for guidance, blah, 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 just really, really deep into my prayer time. So after I finished praying and reading my word, I decided to finish the TD Jakes sermon because I was like halfway through. I stopped it halfway through while I was in such deep prayer at the park. So I finished the sermon. Right after I finished the sermon, I got when I closed the video out, another video popped up, and it was like TD Jakes and then the TD Jakes Diddy scandal. And I'm like, what? This ain't nothing but the works of the devil. Like, why are you trying to show me something like this right after I just watched this lovely sermon, right? So at first I was like, I'm not clicking on this video, whatever, But anyway, I click on the video, listen to maybe the like first 2-3 minutes, if that. I really was more focused on the comments. I went to the comments. So I'm looking at the comments, and I'm just like, wow. It's just negativity after negativity after negativity, right? I don't know what was all in that video. I don't know if it, they claim this was some evidence against him or, and now he's scrambling and he'll never recover. This is what the commentator saying, he'll never recover from this scandal, blah, blah, blah. But like, you're talking about a child of God. Never recover? You think so? What's deliverance? What's grace? What's his mercy? Yeah, those was lies. I wouldn't even put that word in the same sentence. But I wanted to start with this, but those combination of words in that sentence. I'm not going to say I don't care, because obviously some form of me does care. That's the flesh, but dealing with the Holy Spirit, that's not, whatever this man is accused of or what's being alleged, it's not my business or any of our business unless it affects you directly somehow. If whatever is being alleged is true, that's what that man has to deal with God. He gonna have to take that up with God. Ain't nobody else gonna be able to take them repercussions for him. He gonna have to deal with that if these allegations are true. And I said that to say this, that yes, he's being held, he's a bishop, he's held in a higher light, right? But we're still talking about a human being. We're still talking about flesh, and people make mistakes. No human is perfect. The only perfection is God and Jesus. That's it. Nobody else is perfect. And baby, I'm here to tell you, if you think you perfect, or your mama perfect, your granddaddy perfect, your grandma perfect, your grandkids, your kid, you're delusional. No one's perfect. And I just wanted to say that, matter of fact, let me just read this to you. This is a scripture from Matthew 7. I'm gonna start with verse 1. Verse 1 starts out and says, "Do not judge, or you will be judged." Verse 2 says, "For in the same way you judge others, you will be judged. And with the measure you use, it will be measured to you." So basically, the same way you out here judging folks all in them comments with them Twitter fingers and keyboard fingers and you know, them internet soldier fingers. Yeah. Leaving them little ugly, judgy comments. Yeah. God's going to judge you the same way. Same way. Same measure. Because you're perfect, you know. So, and please don't get me wrong here. Don't get this twisted, okay? I've been so guilty of this. I was probably one of the first, second, or third to fly over the shade room soon as something dropped and was leaving my little negative judgmental comments. Who cared? So what? Girl, they don't even know you. Why would they care about your opinion? So what does it matter? And even besides that, why was it my business? Why? It wasn't. Oh, and even better yet, girl, you didn't have something else better to do with your time? You didn't have anything more productive to do with your time? Time waster. Worrying about somebody else's business, complete and utter time waster. Yeah, just here to bring that out. But I also want you to catch this tea. Watch this. Starting in verse 3. "Why do you look at the speck of sawdust in your brother's eye and pay no attention to the plank in your own eye?" Oops. "How can you say to your brother, 'Let me take the speck out of your eye,' when all the time there's a plank in your own eye? You hypocrite." I just admitted that was me. Well, I'm not a hypocrite anymore because I'm not doing that, but that's hypocritical. "You hypocrite, first take the plank out of your own eye, and then you will see clearly to remove the speck from your brother's eye." So, if you're going to be judging people, just understand and just know these are God's words, not Taylor's, okay? Taylor did not make this up out the clear blue sky. These are God's words. He said, you will be judged with the same exact measure as you judge other folks. And while you're judging, okay, look at yourself. Look at what you're doing. Look at your level of perfection while you're judging other people, okay? So I wanted to talk about this Diddy scandal. Honestly, I just gotta say, can I just say I'm like over even seeing about it, hearing about it, looking at it, like over it. I don't know if anybody else is over it. Like, are y'all over it? Because I absolutely am. But the point of this was to say it triggered something in me. It triggered one of my own stories, and it was when I left Las Vegas probably about 20 years ago. I moved back to California. A friend of mine, she kept asking me to go with her to church. She kept like just asking. And honestly, baby, me just leaving Las Vegas, oh, best believe I needed to be in somebody's church, dumped in holy water, baptized 12 times and then some, okay? So yes, I absolutely needed to be in the church scene. But I kept kind of putting her off for a couple of months. After about 2.5, 3 months, I finally was like, okay, girl, I'll go, because girl, you got my back, right? So I was like, all right, I'll go. start going to the church. Have been going there for maybe about 2-3 months. And in the interim, maybe about I don't even think it was a full 3 months, but one day the church was actually, this particular weekend was going to go out of town. They were going to Atlanta, all places, for a like a type of conference, like a church conference, right? So pretty much the whole church was going to be gone. It was really going to be nobody there. Now, mind you, my girlfriend and this is somebody that I grew up with since like elementary school. So she introduced me to the pastor, you know, when I first started going to the church and things like that. And she got me there because she was just like, she kept working on me. Like I said, she was working on me. She was like, girl, you'll really, you know, enjoy. He's like a younger pastor. He like, you know, speaks to us on our level. Like, I really feel like you should come, blah, blah, blah. So that's how she ended up roping me, and I ended up going. So now fast forward, we're here, we're a couple months, you know, into, they're going on this trip. So the pastor comes up to me and gets like this close in my face and was like, hey, you know, we're going to, and then mind you, when he gets that close to my face, I kind of look and like step back like, excuse me, you know, like I wasn't feeling them being in my personal space like that. Like it automatically raised something in my gut, like, I'm not comfortable with this. I'm not feeling this, right? So anyway, so I'm like leaned back, kind of like, what's up? You know, almost like, and he was like, oh, well, you know, we're leaving. We're going to be gone for a few days. You know, if you need my number, if you need anything, call me. You know, I'll give you my number, blah, blah. So I'm sitting there thinking like, well, I ain't no, like, I don't got no health issue. I don't need anybody praying or, you know, I don't feel like I don't, you know, if I'm not here in church, like, you know, so I'm going to fall off the face of the earth. Like it's some kind of emergency. Like, mind you, I had not built any type of really rapport with this man, you know, like it was literally like my first introduction when I first started going to the church, and now here we are a couple months later on down the line, and like you're now offering me your number. And I was like, first I was like, what? No. And then I was just like, then I was like, okay, girl, maybe you're reading too much into this, right? But that intuition gonna tell you that you're right. So when you get it, believe it, okay? So now here we go about and I told him like, oh no, thank you. Like, I don't need your number. You know, if I need to discuss anything or I need some prayer, I can wait till you guys get back, you know? And so I was like, I didn't feel comfortable taking this man's number, and he married man and the pastor of church. I didn't feel comfortable with that at all. So anyway, now the conference takes place. They didn't went and came back. We done been to church a couple more times, couple more weeks since then. And one day, phone rings. It is my homegirl. She's calling me to tell me that she has something to tell me. She don't know who else to talk to, and she got to get it off of her. I'm like, okay, girl, like, what? What are we talking about? She was like, girl, I don't even know where to start. I don't even know how to say this. Like, please don't judge me. I'm just like, cause I'm pretty much stuck in between a rock and a hard place. I don't even know what to do. This don't even seem realistic to me in my life right now. So I'm like, girl, what? Like, spit it out. So she basically was like, the pastor and her, we gonna call him Pastor Jacob, just for purposes, because I'm not saying where this church was at, the name of the church, the man, real name, nothing, or even the friend. So she was like, girl, like, me and Pastor Jacob, like, been linking up. Say what? Oh, girl, you mean like Like for prayer? No, girl, like we really been hooking up. Say what? Now, mind you, this particular friend, I said I grew up with her, so I'm already very aware of her background and how she moves. And no shade, this is just honesty, but this wasn't a shock to me. But it wasn't a shock to me like coming from her, but it was a shock to me because of, this is a whole pastor we're talking about. This is a whole married man that has his family in the front row of the church every Sunday. Like, she's telling me that this man is inviting her to his house to have dinner with his wife. His daughters like are around our age. The man is telling her he got an alter ego. The alter ego got a whole nother name. And he'd sleep in a tent in front of their house because he ain't allowed to come into their house. I don't even want to laugh. I mean, I feel like I'm getting shocked all over again, just replaying it back. So I'm just like, wait, what? Like, when I say mouth on the floor, I like have to pick my mouth up off the floor because I was like, girl, wait, what? Like, no, what are you talking about? Like, I love pastor. Like, I get a word every single time I come. Like, I be leaving the church rejuvenated and feel like, baby, I can fight these demons and devils. You're telling me what? Yeah, and then that's not it. We meet up at hotels all the time. He's bringing me, because I don't know if I can say that out here, trees. I know y'all, most of y'all know what that is. Trees, playing with the nose, anything that she wanted, or you want this, you want that, it's on deck. Calling up other women for the link ups, all together. Like, yo, for the Diddy parties. What they call them? The freak offs. What? We're talking about a whole pastor, okay? So, y'all tell me if I dodged the bullet. So my first instincts were correct. My intuition about him was correct. What you need him? What I need your number for? You don't need my phone number. I don't need yours. For what? Oh, no, thank you. I'll see you at church if I need to. Intuitions be right. And so I did not want to judge my friend. But I did let her know she was dead wrong. Dead wrong. I was like, you need to leave that alone ASAP. Because it's not cool on so many levels. It's not okay. And eventually, I mean, she told me that she did, you know, and that was probably maybe a few weeks later. I don't really know 100% sure if, you know, she did that right then and there, or, you know, then, but I know eventually it did stop. And it was just wild, you know. And the point that to the fact that we're like, I stopped going to the church after that. It already took a while for me to go. I stopped going to the church after that because I felt so stupid, and I felt like I basically was like falling into the devil's trap, like on some Jim Jones drinking from the Kool-Aid type stuff, you know. Like, I felt stupid and slapped in the face, you know. And so I stopped going to the church altogether. And I remember telling my mom that story, right? And then I know later on she ended up telling my aunt, the one that I tell y'all, you know, has a ministry. Her and my uncle has a ministry and is an apostle. And what she said was basically the messenger didn't matter. It was about the message. Did you receive what you were supposed to receive from the message? And I did. I was hungry for the Lord. I kept going back because I felt like every time I stepped in that church, it was a message for me. Every time. But every time I tried to get close to God, the devil has played in my face. He done played with my face and played. That's how I know God got such a bigger calling on my life. He got me out of there that time. He got me out of the church another time in Georgia, where I used to have the wildest thoughts. Like, and I'm gonna talk to y'all about this later because I don't make this video too long. But like, the type of anger that I used to have on me was real. God is still delivering me from that. Still. He's still delivering and working on me with that, you know. And but I'll go into that later on. But to the point where I was in church in Georgia, we started going to church, and I stopped going because I used to start thinking that people was saying stuff about me in the pews and wanted to punch people in church. Now, if you can't pay attention to the sermon and you in here thinking about fighting people and tossing folks back and forth over the pews, something ain't right. Something ain't right. And again, I'll let the devil win. Ha, got you up out of there. But he would play in my face so well, play in my head so good, to the point I'd just be so angered. Why are you in church mad? You're missing the bigger picture, missing what you came here for. So anyways, I said all that to say that people are not perfect. People are human beings. And sometimes it's gotta be about the message, not the messenger. So if Bishop T.D. Jakes is being accused of all these egregious things, again, that is not my business. I'm not gonna stop watching his sermons, because regardless to what, the Holy Spirit still speaks through this person. He still speaks through this human body of flesh, and he uses him to do God's work. What that man is doing behind the scenes and behind closed doors, that is not my concern or my business. My concern is that I'm getting what I'm supposed to be getting from God. That's it. That's it. And just one last thing for people that want to throw stones. John 8 says, he who is without sin cast the first stone. So if you are without sin, by all means, cast that stone, baby. Go ahead, get out there. Get in there. Because ain't nobody perfect. Everybody got some skeletons. Everybody got something that they feel shame for. Or, you know, nobody's perfect. And just don't think your stone bigger than nobody else's stone, because in the word, ain't no sin bigger than another. They all the same. They all equal, baby. All equal in this, okay? So if you're sinning, you ain't living right, you ain't doing it, yours ain't no bigger and no better than nobody else's, or no less than anybody else's, okay? So just keep that in mind. And yeah, I just want to this is a word that God gave me, and it just hit my spirit, and it triggered that other memory and that story. And I told you I was gonna come on here and be, you know, dropping these stories about how God saved my life. So this will be under that series, and this is just part of it. So this is just a rant, but anyway, I'll be back with some of those how God saved my life stories for y'all. All right. Love you much. Toodles.